Hi students, welcome to Bosco Campus Vision. I am Shankar Ganesh, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Application, Don Bosco College, Kottayam. I am delighted to present a lecture on the topic Internetworking, which comes under the third module of Computer Networks and Security. This lecture is meant for Semester 3 BCA course of Kerala University. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the concepts of congestion. Congestion is an important issue that can arise in packet-switched network. Congestion is a situation in communication networks in which too many packets are present in a part of the subnet. Congestion in a network may occur when the load on the network is greater than the capacity of the network. Network congestion occurs in case of traffic overloading. In other words, when too much traffic is offered, congestion sets in and performance degrades sharply. The various causes of congestion in a subnet are: first one, congestion in a subnet can occur if the processors are slow. Slow speed CPU at routers will perform the routine tasks such as queuing buffers, updating table, etc. slowly. As a result of this, queues are built up even though there is excess line capacity. Second one, when the router's buffer is too limited, the routers are too slow to perform bookkeeping tasks. Third one, congestion is also caused by slow links. This problem will be solved when high-speed links are used. The various causes of congestion in a subnet are: first one, congestion in a subnet can occur if the processors are slow. Slow speed CPU at routers will perform the routine tasks such as queuing buffers, updating table, etc. slowly. As a result of this, queues are built up even though there is excess line capacity. Second one, when the router's buffer is too limited, the routers are too slow to perform bookkeeping tasks. Third one, congestion is also caused by slow links. This problem will be solved when high-speed links are used. Next, we can discuss the congestion control methods. Congestion control refers to techniques and mechanisms that can either prevent congestion before it happens or remove congestion after it has happened. Congestion control mechanisms are divided into two categories. One category prevents the congestion from happening and the other category removes congestion after it has taken place. The categories of congestion control methods are: first one, open loop congestion control. Second one, closed loop congestion control. First one, open loop congestion control. Open loop congestion control policies are applied to prevent congestion before it happens. The congestion control is handled either by the source or the destination. Next, we can discuss the policies adopted by open loop congestion control. First one, retransmission policy. It is the policy in which retransmission of the packets are taken care. If the sender feels that a sent packet is lost or corrupted, the packet needs to be retransmitted. This transmission may increase the congestion in the network. Second one, window policy. The type of window at the sender side may also affect the congestion. Several packets in the go by N window are resent, although some packets may be received successfully at the receiver side. This duplication may increase the congestion in the network. Therefore, selective repeat window should be adopted. Third one, acknowledgement policy. The acknowledgement policy imposed by the receiver may also affect congestion. The receiver should send acknowledgement for n packets rather than sending acknowledgement for a single packet. Fourth one, discarding policy. A good discarding policy adopted by the routers is that the routers may prevent congestion and at the same time partially discards the corrupted or less sensitive package and also able to maintain the quality of a message. Fifth one, admission policy. In admission policy, a mechanism switches in a flow should first check the resource requirement of a network flow before transmitting it further. If there is a chance of a congestion or there is a congestion in the network, router should deny establishing a virtual network connection to prevent further congestion. Second one, closed loop congestion control. Closed loop congestion control mechanisms try to remove the congestion after it happens. It tries to monitor the system to detect congestion, pass this information to where action can be taken and adjust system operation to correct the problem. It is based on the principle of feedback loop. The approach has three parts when applied to congestion control. First one, monitor the system to detect when and where congestion occurs. Second one, pass this information to places where action can be taken. Third, adjust system operation to correct the problem. The various methods used for closed loop congestion control are: first one, back pressure; second one, choke packet; third one, implicit signaling; and fourth one, explicit signaling. First one, back pressure. Back pressure is a node-to-node congestion control that starts with a node and propagates in the opposite direction of data flow. The back pressure technique can be applied only to virtual circuit networks. In such virtual circuit, each node knows the upstream node from which a data flow is coming. In this method of congestion control, the congested node stops receiving data from the immediate upstream node or nodes. This may cause the upstream node to become congested and they in turn reject data from their upstream node. Second one, choke packet. In this method of congestion control, congested router or node sends a special type of packet called choke packet to the source to inform it about the congestion. Here, congested node does not inform its upstream node about the congestion as in back pressure method. In choke packet method, congested node sends a warning directly to the source station, that is, the intermediate nodes through which the packet has traveled are not warned. Third one, implicit signaling. In implicit signaling, there is no communication between the congested node or nodes and the source. The source guesses that there is congestion somewhere in the network when it does not receive any acknowledgement. Therefore, the delay in receiving an acknowledgement is interpreted as congestion in the network. On sensing this congestion, the source slows down. This type of congestion control policy is used by TCP. Fourth one, explicit signaling. In this method, the congested nodes explicitly send a signal to the source or destination to inform about the congestion. In choke packet method, a separate packet is used. Explicit signaling can occur in either the forward direction or the backward direction. In backward signaling, a bit is set in a packet moving in the direction opposite to the congestion. This bit warns the source about the congestion and informs the source to slow down. In forward signaling, a bit is set in a packet moving in the direction of congestion. This bit warns the destination about the congestion. The receiver in this case uses policies such as slowing down the acknowledgements to remove the congestion. In this lecture, we have discussed the concepts of congestion. Hope all of you have understood the lecture. Thank you.